Hi, welcome to Chisholm Prism. My name is Taylor Chisholm, and today in this video, we're going to talk about Chicago's transportation system. There are a lot of benefits, but there's also some quirks about it. Yeah, we'll get into it today. We'll talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and all that in between. And stay tuned as well, because I'm going to tell you the most wild train story that has happened to me yesterday.
Ma'am, get up.
Literally not even 24 hours ago, I've experienced the most insane thing. I even got some footage of it. I'll share some crazy stories. Even if you have a crazy story, let's put that in the comments so we can all just be prepared on what's going on out here. I want to say you don't need a car in Chicago. I think that's why I think this video is pretty important, because if you move here, if you live here, you probably already know, but having a car and living close to downtown can be kind of a nightmare because parking gets expensive, gas gets expensive, insurance, and Chicago driving, it's bad out here. So not having a car, I know people who sold their car moving here, who rent a car moving here, but I don't think you need it, because if you live close to any line of train or by buses, it can be more convenient for you to get around. If you don't live by that, having a car is more useful, and if the further you live from downtown, the loop is better for you with parking. The first point that is important with public transportation is you're going to want the Ventra app. This is what will be the foundation for locating when buses or trains are coming, putting money on your card that you have to scan in, just staying up to date with what the trains and buses are doing. So if you don't have that app already, get that app, look on that app. It's going to be very important for you. For some of the prices, so the train is going to be $250, the buses are going to be $225, so a little bit of a difference there. I've even attached my Ventra card to my Apple Wallet, so I'm able just to scan my phone when I do go on to trains or buses, which just makes it that much easier. Even on the Ventra app, along with it telling you transportation options in the city, it also connects to the metro and things that will take you on the outskirts of Chicago. That's how I get back home. That's how I used to come to the city back and forth when I was in college, things like that. So check that out too. You can easily buy tickets on that app. So to get into the meat of all this, what's the primary ways of getting around? You got the buses and you got the trains are the most prominent ones. So you'll find those stops all throughout Chicago. Let's start off with the buses. I will say, to me, the buses feel like the safer option. Also, if I'm looking over here, it's because I have some notes. So yes, the buses to me feel like the safer option. It's cleaner. I feel like it's brighter or something, and then people kind of put on their best behavior hats and they're not wilding out or whatever. I'll say the timing for the buses, it's tough. I mean, sometimes they're running like clockwork. Sometimes, a lot of the time that I've experienced, they're late, they're delayed, there's some backup. The bus will stop somewhere and be like, I'm on lunch break, everybody get off, or something random. So I personally use the bus as my secondary way to get around, but if I have to, I'll take the bus. I have seen some moments of loud people on buses, someone harassing the bus driver or some other person sitting on the bus, but most of the time it's a simple ride. I haven't had too many problems on buses. Some key things, have your card ready, because they're not playing around when they stop at the stop. They want you to have it out, immediately tag it, and go sit down, because they gotta go to the next stop. And also, do not look at Google to know when the buses are arriving. Go to the Ventra app to see the times that they're arriving, the departures and all that, because Google's not right majority of the time. The app is very accurate with when they're coming, when they're not coming. Let's get into trains. So the Chicago CTA is something. If I could describe the CTA in one word, it would be efficient. You know, I think it does the job that it needs to do. It's on time most of the time. It's consistent. And it goes a lot of places across the city. Quickly get from point A to point B. I do think the brown line is the best line to take. It actually takes you around the loop a couple times and just back up. I think it kind of has like a historic feel because some of the carts are older, and just the views alone are really pretty. So if you're ever just like, I want a really quick, easy, cheap trip, I'm bored, I need something to do, just take the brown line around and just see the views, sit, listen to some music. It's actually a pretty nice time. But I will say the red and the blue lines are a little more sketchy, in my opinion. They're a little more sketchy. You'll see a range of people on them. I've had the craziest train stories on either of those two lines. I don't know what it is. Those lines, they do, I think they stretch the furthest across Chicago. So you can go real north side all the way far south side on the red line. The blue line takes you through the west diagonally down to the loop, even touches the airport. So maybe that's why you see some more characters on there. Yeah, you'll see people from all walks of life. It's common that you'll smell something, somebody stinking, maybe pee, poop, cigarettes. I've smelled anything. It's common sometimes you'll see homeless people sleeping on the trains, especially during the winter seasons. It's a warm place for them to rest. So that's very common to see. I've seen people selling drugs on the train, people smoking cigarettes. Of course, they'll even stop the train for someone smoking cigarettes. Just random stuff. But I say keep to yourself. Keep to yourself and you'll be okay. You will see some stuff, but you'll be fine. Keep your head down. Don't engage too much in the madness of the train. Just get to where you need to be. So this is the story that happened to me yesterday. So I was just trying to go down to Chinatown, right? I'm taking the red line down to Chinatown. And at first everything was fine, like a normal train ride. But tell me why I'm standing forward and behind me I hear a lady and she's talking real loud, like yelling to herself it seems. And that, I'm kind of used to that. That's normal. But what happened, we stopped at one of, like midway through the journey, and some police officers fully vested up with a K-9 dog come like walking into the cart and the train that we were in.
Ma'am, get up. Ma'am, get up. Ladies and gentlemen, can y'all be able to step out the way for me?
And they were yelling at this woman, like, you gotta get off, what are you doing in here? Like I feel like someone maybe reported her. They must have had, like, someone called in and was like, she's a suspect. I don't know if she had drugs on her. That's what I think what the dog was for, to like smell some of the drugs or something. But I don't know if she had a bomb. I don't know what she had, but it was a very serious situation. And they just kept yelling at the lady to get off. She would not get off. And she looked like a normal person, but honestly, you can't tell nowadays. But like, she just kept screaming, I'm an attorney, I know lawyers, like, I'm not getting off this train. Like, it was wild. And then some people are freaking out. This dog is growling, like real pissed off as this lady is yelling more. So everyone on the train starts, like, we all start backing up slowly to the other side, or people are leaving. Which eventually, as they were going back and forth, which I'm surprised the police officer didn't just like yank her, like, come on, you're arrested. Like, you're obviously a suspect. I don't know, but we were all just watching the spectacle. So we got off the train because we didn't want to be involved in that chaos of what could have happened, what could have gone down. So we ended up hopping to the brown line, trying to catch another red line somewhere else, but it just delayed all of the trains for a while. For a while, the trains were delayed. Honestly, the timing is crazy because I was gonna make this video, but this is a great example of the madness that can go down on the train. So you never know. You never know. You just gotta prepare yourself. Stay safe. Don't engage in anything like that you see on the trains. Be safe. I'll tell you one more train story that I had last year. It was New Year's, actually. Again, taking the red line. I'm telling you, something's up with that train. But there was a homeless man that was sitting on that train, but he did smell like poop. He smelled kind of bad. But everyone on the train was kind of like just sitting there, like not saying nothing, like we're just trying to hold our breath as we get to the next stop, right? But one guy entered the train and smelled it and was like pissed off, like immediately yelling out like, who's it smells like poop, who smells like and like just real loud. And eventually he finds out that it was the guy, and he starts yelling at him so bad, and he like pulls him up and kicks him off of the train, like physically grabs him, throws him up. And he didn't look like he could really defend himself or nothing, like he wasn't hurting nobody, but damn, like that guy was real aggressive towards him and ended up like spilling, he had cereal on him and he spilled all this cereal on the floor. It was real sad. It was real sad, but it's like something like that. Like, I can't help this guy. This maniac who's throwing him off the train is obviously very aggressive. And if I step in, like, I can't do much. I'm gonna get thrown off myself. So it's like something like some sad situations like that. People in the world, I don't know. Yeah, it's wild. Okay, I'll give some notable mentions as well for transportation. So there are Lyfts and Uber throughout Chicago. Lyft is cheaper than Uber's, is what I found, so I usually prefer Lyfts. There's also taxis throughout Chicago. I've never used them yet. I just use Lyft and Uber, so I don't know price comparisons and quality of service, but that's there. There are also Divvy bikes and e-bikes. Divvy bikes are electric bikes that are run by the Lyft company. You'll see that throughout Chicago. There's porting stations. They have electric ones and just regular bikes. So you can choose either one. Electric's a little bit more expensive, but also a good option if you want to bike across the lake or easily just get to somewhere quickly without paying a bunch of money for a lift or a ride. And then the e-scooters, they're fine. They're around. They're usually just laying somewhere, somewhere random. I've seen the bikes are more common around here.